Do you people have your exams, like any kind of test or anything coming? No, for Sabiha. What about you, Bita?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And Muniba, what about you?
No.
All right. So today we're going to start with the plant kingdom chapter. Now we know that this has been like the plants have been given a separate kingdom of their own so that they could have all of their you can say a typical kind of organisms that exist in the plant kingdom would be. What will be the first characteristic? Will they be unicellular or multicellular? The members of the plant kingdom.
Unicellular.
See, most of them will be multicellular. Some unicellular forms may be there. Okay. Now, what type of mode of nutrition will they have?
Autotrophic mode of nutrition.
Autotrophic mode of nutrition, meaning almost every single member of this kingdom will be photosynthetic, isn't it? Will be bearing some chlorophyll pigment in their body. All right. Okay. Now, talking about the plant kingdom has been divided into these many classes, or you can say divisions actually. These are the divisions of the kingdom Plantae. We have the division algae, division bryophytes, division pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Zainab, are you there in the class?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, switch on your video.
1 minute, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, in this chapter, initially there is a little bit discussion of the classification systems that we have already studied. You remember artificial, natural, and phylogenetic classifications, right? So in that, we have discussed how.
Ma'am, we continue these notes after animal kingdom.
No. You start a fresh for this, like a fresh chapter page for this particular notes because this is a different chapter, right? Plant kingdom, sorry, for animal kingdom, I've just given you the introduction part. So leave it at that point only. This is a fresh start to a new chapter, okay? All right. So when we talk about the classification system, so here, yes, Muniba, it's fine. It's fine. All right. So yeah. So when we were talking about the biological classification, right? In that particular chapter, we had discussed how different people came along and gave their version of how to classify organisms, right? So some of them use the morphological features. You people remember that? The study of only external morphology, the external appearance, and because of that, Aristotle gave the artificial system of classification wherein he used the morphological features. Now, do you think was it practical or impractical?
Ma'am, my internet connection is weak. Can I switch off the video because your voice is lagging whenever I'm switching on my video?
Okay. Yes. Your video is even lagging today. Okay, yes. So is the artificial system of classification or this approach of using the morphological features, is this a practical approach or an impractical one?
Practical.
Practical. If I just look at you and I'll say that you belong to this group and I'll know nothing about you, is that practical? 100% not. No, it's impractical. Like we have to consider all the features. So now talking about the next that came was the natural system of classification. Now this was given by Bentham and Hooker. Now they use morphology, which is the external appearance, then in anatomy, that is the internal structure, cell structure, everything. Now they talked about everything. So now you see that it is a little more practical, isn't it? It's like more on the practical side. But yet again, they are not, you can say, 100% practical or 100% perfect. Why? Because they are not talking about any ancestor. There is no history of ancestor in this particular system of classification. So with that being said, came on the phylogenetic system of classification, which was given by Engler and Prantl. Now, in this particular classification, they used evolutionary history along with all of these other characters, meaning along with morphology, anatomy, cell structure, they also use the evolutionary history. Okay, so which one is the most practical out of all of them? Out of the three, which one is the most practical?
Natural system of classification.
No, phylogenetic. As I'm saying that they use evolutionary history with all of these like characters such as morphology, anatomy, cell structure, and everything. Okay, yeah. Now you people understand the difference between the three of them.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone have any doubt?
No.
All right, so now let's talk about taxonomy. Now, taxonomy, as we remember, that it is the branch of science that would deal with the identification, classification, and then nomenclature of organisms. Right? These three things come under the taxonomy. Now, this taxonomy, that is the particular branch of science that will be dealing with all of these, they have certain branches, or there are different types of taxonomies. The first type of taxonomy that we will be talking about is the numerical taxonomy, or it is also known as phonetics. Now, in this particular taxonomy, it involves the usage of numerical methods so that they can evaluate different species on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities with the help of computers. Okay, so here, for example, let's just say we're talking about organisms that have chlorophyll. There is plant and then there is animal. Now, for under the animal, they would write a plus that, okay, yes, this group has the chlorophyll present. Under the animals, they would write a minus or zero. So this usage of numerical methods, the plus, minus, zero, one, that is numerical taxonomy, and it is also known as phonetics. See, these are the characters that they use. Character present, so plus. Character not present, so absent. The character not available at all is zero. These are the you can say the things that they use for numerical taxonomy. Any doubts up until now, students?
No.
Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now let's talk about the next type of taxonomy, that is cytotaxonomy, and it is also known as karyotaxonomy. Now what is cyto? The word cyto, wherever it comes along, cyto means cell or related to the cell. Now it is based on the cytological or cellular information such as the number of chromosome, the structure of the chromosome, the behavior of the chromosome, meaning anything that is related to the cell and its structure, more importantly, inside the nucleus. So that becomes the cytotaxonomy. And since most of the things that we are talking about, they're related to the nucleus part. So we call it as the karyotaxonomy as well. So cytotaxonomy or karyotaxonomy, it's the same thing. And here they use the cytological information. Cytological information means all the informations that are related to the cell. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is it like it's clear only to two people? What about the others? Why don't I hear, like, how many of you are there in the class? 5 of you, right? So why don't I hear 5 yeses?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for giving me one more yes. All right. Now talking about the next type of taxonomy, that is chemotaxonomy. Now the word only would tell you what it uses. It uses a certain chemical, right? Chemo. So it is based on the chemical constituents of the plants. For example, chemical constituents means like what the structure is made up of. The proteins, the amino acids, the carbohydrates, meaning all the biomolecules, and also the DNA sequence. DNA sequence also is a chemical information of our body, of our cell. So the chemotaxonomy uses that for, you can say, identifying, classifying, and everything. So the three types of taxonomies are clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, we know that there are so many divisions of the plant kingdom. Now, the first division of the plant kingdom is algae. Do you know what is the next division of the plant kingdom after algae comes? What comes after algae, students? Any idea? After algae comes bryophytes, then comes pteridophytes, then comes gymnosperms, and lastly there is the angiosperms. Now algae amongst the kingdom Plantae is the most primitive organism, and talking about their structure and the way they are the most simple organism, and they are thalloid. What is the meaning of thalloid? Means their body is like thallus. Thallus like body is there. Now, what does that mean? Here, the plant body, you cannot find root, stem, or leaves in them. Meaning the plant body is sort of like just like this. You can't make out which part is the root, which part is the stem, and which part is the leaf because it is not differentiated into those parts. So the algae, they are very simple organisms. They are thalloid, like their body is thallus-like, meaning it has not been differentiated into roots, stems, and leaves. Now they contain chlorophyll, and because of that, they are autotrophic organisms. Now talking about the habitat. Now the habitat of algae. Okay, now the algae, they are aquatic in habitat, meaning they are living in the water bodies some way or the other. Now the aquatic habitats in general can be of two types. It can be marine or it can be freshwater. Now what is the meaning of marine, students?
Water, like water-based animals.
What? I can't hear you. Please say it again.
Like ocean and water-based.
Yeah, all of those areas that have salt concentration in it, meaning the water bodies that have salt in it. So those are the marine habitats. Whereas the water that does not have any salt concentration present in it is the fresh water. Now, for the example of marine water, we have sea, we have ocean. Talking about the fresh water, we have lakes, we have rivers, and ponds, right? These are the examples of freshwater bodies. So the algae, they are mostly found in the aquatic habitat only. It can be marine also, it can be freshwater, but they are mostly aquatic. Now, apart from being aquatic, there are some algae that occur in habitats like moist stones. Everyone has seen moist stones, right? Now wait, we will make this chapter interesting. Just 1 second. All right. With the usage of pictures, we're going to make this habitat, I'm saying. Interesting. All right. Okay. So as I was saying, they are also formed or found in the habitats such as what? Moist stones. Even in the soil also, you can find some of the habitat. Okay. Can you see my screen, students?
Yes, ma'am. The notes.
Good. All right. So they also occur in habitats like moist stones, soils, and even on the wood. Now, see, let's just see this thing. Okay. Has anyone come across these kind of habitats or wherein you find a stone that was too slippery to stand upon? Has anyone ever experienced that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, those are algae. You've been in contact with algae. And even on if you have ever been to a pond that has not been, kept so well, you might find these green growth on the entire surface of the pond. Have you seen this also? These are also algae. These are the green algae. So, and the algae can be of various types. We'll get into that. But as you can see, I have written habitats or the algae habitats, right? And see, most of them are aquatic because algae, they are primarily found in the aquatic habitat. Do you see these? All of these are the algae. And I said that they are also found on the moist stones. Stones have no moisture, but the ones that are available near the water bodies, such as on the beaches. So on those stones also, these green growth, this is because of the algae. Now, if you look at it, if you look at the picture, can you tell which part is the root, which part is the stem, or which part is the leaf? Can you make out?
No, ma'am.
No, right. It's impossible, isn't it? So this is the reason why their body structure does not have that proper differentiation into being root, stem, or leaves. Okay, so this is how the algae looks like now. Now, as you see here, is that they are mostly found in the water habitats, right? So they are aquatic. Now, if they are aquatic, but before telling you that, I should also tell you that they also occur in the association with fungus. Everyone remembers fungi plus algae is equal to lichen. It is what kind of a relationship is it? Hmm? The lichen relationship, what kind of a relationship it is? Tell me, students. No one is studying anything. Eh? Biological classification is over. You've forgotten to study it at all. What happens? Zanab, Sabiha, Hashid, then Jesslyn, Jobita. Tell me, come on.
Ma'am, is it a symbiotic
Yes,
relation?
yes, it is a symbiotic relationship. Why are you scared of answering? Eh?
I wasn't sure, ma'am, if it wasn't.
Yeah, see, even if you're wrong, this goes to everyone. Even if you people are wrong in answering, you should answer. That creates a confidence. I will not laugh at you. I will think that why you're not studying, but I will not laugh at you. Okay, see, this is how the lichen look like. These are the lichens. You and okay. Uh, yeah, all of these that you see, mostly they are whitish in color. So these are the lichen. And always remember that it is a symbiotic association between a fungi and an algae. Okay, so it means that the algae can live as the in the association also. I'll write symbiotic here. So they can live in the symbiotic association. They can live on the habitats such as moist stones, soils, and wood, and they are also found. They're mostly found in the aquatic habitat. So the habitat for algae is clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Now, the algae, they are of variable size and forms, meaning you can find teeny tiny microscopic algae also and huge forms of algae also. But even in the huge forms, you can't make out which one is leaves or which one is stem or root because they don't have it at all. But you can find the different sizes of the algae. Now, starting from the microscopic unicellular forms such as Chlamydomonas. Now, Chlamydomonas is the name of the algae. Okay, that is why like it is the scientific name, so I have underlined it. Now, it is a microscopic unicellular algae. What is the meaning of microscopic, students? Microscope.
It is only visible under a microscope.
Yes, exactly.
It's not visible to the naked eye.
Exactly. It's not visible to the naked eye, and when we want to see it, we can see it only under the microscope. So this Chlamydomonas is that one example of algae that is microscopic and it is unicellular. Now then, as I told you, when many cells come together, they can form a colony as well. So the colonial form is for the volvox. Volvox is an example of the algae that forms the colony. Then many algae can come together and form filamentous structures. And that filamentous forms of algae are Eulothrix and Spirogyra. So Chlamydomonas, Volvox, Eulothrix and Spirogyra are the first four examples that you people are seeing. Now, apart from all of these three life forms or the sizes, there are some massive plant bodies that are formed by the kelps. Again, kelps are, it's not the scientific name, but it is also the example of the algae that form the massive plant body. So these are the various different kinds of the size and the forms of the algae. to show you that there is such big diversity in them. Now let us look at some of the pictures so that we know how it looks like. First is microscopic algae. See, obviously, if it is microscopic, then we can't find the normal picture. We'll only find the pictures that are from under the microscope. So these are the like pictures of microscopic algae. But more importantly, we want to see Chlamydomonas. See, this is how the Chlamydomonas look like. Sort of reminding you of a beetle, isn't it? Beetle without legs. So this is how the Chlamydomonas look like. See, they have flagella. Do you see the two flagella? These two tentacles like structure, these are the flagella. And what does flagella do? What does flagella do?
It provides motility, ma'am.
Exactly. It helps the algae to move. So this is the picture of the microscopic algae, that is Chlamydomonas. Now what was the next form? Okay. Colonial algae. What was the example for colonial algae? Anyone remembers? See, colonial algae means they will be present in the form of colonies. Now, what are colonies over here? Do you see how they are looking like a flower, sort of like a flower or a biscuit? But do you see how these things are here? The separate circular or spherical structures that are there. Each of those are the algae that are present together as one. And this is one colony. This is one colony. Okay. So see, each of the flower-like structures that we are seeing, each of them are one colony of their own. Clear, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now we know that colonial algae is volvox. So we must see how volvox looks like. I'm just showing so that you can find it interesting. See this. And this is a better picture under the microscope. Do you see how tiny, tiny green structures are there and then white structures are there? This whole big circle forms one colony. This whole big structure forms another colony. So this is a colonial algae, that is volvox. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what was the next type after colonial? What is the next type of habitat or the size? Was filamentous. Very good. Filamentous algae. And what was the example? Let us see Eulothrix. See, filaments. Do you see how long strands are there? Each of those look like a strand, isn't it? So this is how the Eulothrix looks like. It is a filament-like. Filament means anything that is long and you can say slender and strand-like. So this is a filamentous algae. Clear to everyone? Okay, so now you people have seen it. So now it's better or easier to remember. Also, yeah, let us look at kelps. Kelps are huge plant bodies, right? Right, kelps. Yeah, see. Giant kelp. Do you see how they look like? Even though these structures look like leaves, but they're not leaves. Remember this thing, okay? And you might have seen this in that movie, Finding Nemo. Have you seen this? It was there in Finding Nemo, isn't it? Like the thing, like it was all. Has anyone seen Finding Nemo here?
No.
No, no one. Okay, anyway, I got too excited over that fact, but see, these are the kelps. As I said, that we started with a microscopic structure, we went on to the colonial structure, then we went on to the filamentous structure, and lastly, we are seeing how massive plant bodies can be formed, and these are known as the kelps. So now you know how the algae, they are variable in sizes and forms, and that is how it is. Now moving forward, now we know that since majority of them are aquatic in habitat, right? They live in water habitats, so they do not need any special conducting tissues. Now that brings me to conducting tissues. What are conducting tissues, students?
The one which connects each other.
The one which?
Connects each other through a medium of connection.
Yeah, but can you be more precise? Can you name the conducting tissues of plant?
Xylem.
Xylem and phloem. These are the conducting tissues, right? Xylem conducts water, phloem conducts food. Now, since the plant body is first of all so tiny, secondly, they are living in water, so they do not need anything to transport water into them. So that is why those conducting tissues, or the conducting tissues can also be called as the vascular tissues, so they are absent in them. The first reason is that their plant body is not that huge. Second reason is that they already live in water, so they do not need anything to transport water in their body. So that is why they do not have vascular tissues. Vascular tissues are absent in them. Now, to increase their population and to bring forth the offspring, the algae does the reproduction, and the reproduction in algae takes place by these methods. It is vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and sexual reproduction. So these three kinds of reproduction take place in algae. Any doubts up until now, students?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
All right, very good. Now you can note it down.
Can you scroll down?
Ma'am, I'm still writing. Done, ma'am.
Harshit, which one are you asking? What's the third one? Which one? Out of the classification systems?
Can you scroll up?
Oh, here. Okay, okay. This
Yes,
one. This is pteridophyte. Pterido, pteridophyte. The
thank
P
you.
is silent. Okay.
Right.
Done, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, students?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, carrier and cyto both are same.
No, dear. See, the word cyto is for cell. The word karyo is for nucleus.
Yes.
Ma'am, can I scroll?
Everyone's done?
No, ma'am, I'm still writing.
Okay, okay, I'm waiting.
And then
Done.
Everyone's done?
No.
Okay, okay, I'm waiting.
Done.
Then, ma'am,
Everyone's done?
No, ma'am.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am, what is thallus?
See, thallus means something that is not differentiated into the parts that you can see. How do I say thallus is like a mass of stuff? Okay, just like that. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
ma'am, can you scroll down?
Everyone's done?
Done.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes. Ma'am, can you scroll up a bit? Done.
Everyone's
Done.
done?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, can you scroll up a bit?
Done, ma'am.
Okay, dear. Let's just wait for 1 second and I'll scroll up.
Done. Ma'am.
Done.
All right, everyone's done?
No, ma'am, I'm writing.
Okay. Jyobita, what happened?
Ma'am, thunder is there, that's why.
What is there?
Thunder.
I can't hear you.
Ma'am, thunder. Storms.
Okay, thunderstorm. Okay, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Thanks. Done, ma'am.
All right. Okay. So up until now, we have seen the different methods by which reproduction can take place in the algae. Now let us discuss each of them one by one. Now talking about the vegetative reproduction. Now everyone knows that in this type of reproduction, the plant body, whichever form the body is in, that plant body will form the new organism. But in the case of fragmentation, what happens? The parent body breaks into two or more fragments, and each of those fragments develop into a new thallus. For example, this is the thallus. The class, Hashid, the class will, like, it's only 10 only, okay? So, like, is it raining and thundering in all of your places?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, Hashid, just we have only 10-20 minutes more. You can stay in the class till then. Now, as far as we were talking about the fragmentation. So for example, if this is the plant body or the thallus or the algae, now when it will be broken into certain pieces, now each of those pieces will develop into the new entire thallus of the plant. So this is how the fragmentation takes place. Here, there is no involvement of gametes, nothing. In this case, only the plant body or the parent body will be responsible for the reproduction. Now talking about the asexual reproduction. So this takes place by asexual spores. Spores are released from the parent body, which on germination gives rise to new plants. So we know that during the asexual reproduction, there is no scene of gamete formation or gamete fusion. But in the case of asexual reproduction, only one parent is involved. So this type of reproduction is uniparental. And apart from that, here, what happens? Since this is asexual reproduction, so asexual spores are used. Now these spores, when they are liberated and they germinate, so they give rise to new plants. Now the most common type of asexual spore is the zoospore. And the zoospores are flagellated. Always remember that the zoospores are motile. They can move. Now, once these zoospores, when they germinate, they give rise to a new plant. So this is about the asexual reproduction. Any doubts up until now, students?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
All right. Now the next type is the sexual reproduction. Now the sexual reproduction takes place by the fusion of gametes. Now here, if the gametes are there, meaning gametes are formed inside of some sex organs, and the sex organs are unicellular in nature and they are non-jacketed. Non-jacketed means they are not covered by any special layer. Now, depending upon the types of gametes that are there, sexual reproduction is of 3 types. Okay, what are the 3 types? First, we have isogamous. Then we have anisogamous. And lastly, we have oogamous. These are the 3 types of sexual reproduction that can take place depending upon what kind of gametes are fusing and how is it happening. Now, the first one that we are discussing is the isogamous, wherein the fusion of 2 similar kinds of gametes take place. Here, the gametes that are fusing, they are similar in size. They can be flagellated or non-flagellated, meaning they can be motile or non-motile. And the example for the algae in which isogamous type of sexual reproduction takes place is Spirogyra. And in Spirogyra, the gametes are non-motile and similar in size. So, isogamous. Any doubts up until now?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll keep it till here only. Now you people note down. And then in the next class, we'll talk about anisogamous, oogamous, and then we'll come on to the different classes that the algae has. Now, you know that algae has been divided into 3 classes depending upon the pigment that it has in its body. Chlorophyce, Pheophyce, and Rhodophyce. But that we will see in the next class. But up until now, you people can note down.
Done.
Done, students?
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am. Done.
Done, ma'am.
Everyone's done?
Yes, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Done, everyone?
Yes.
All right. Okay, this is the last part. Then you people can go.
Done.
Everyone